You're listening to Potty Mouth Radio, the home of movies, music, television, and comedy. We watch a thing. We watch a thing. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to We Watched a Thing with Billy and Dave. How you doing, mate?
I am good. Tired, but good.
What is that you're drinking there? That looks very fancy. It's like a shot glass.
No, it's a normal, if anything, quite a sizable martini glass.
It's a very fancy one, though. No stem.
In my giant manly hands, everything looks small, as I tell my lady friends. Yeah, no, I'm tired. I mean, as you can see behind me, I'm no closer to being unpacked than I was a week ago.
Yeah.
But life ticks on. We're all good. How are you?
Yeah. I'm okay. Had a bit of a sad week. My dog of 14 years passed away this week. So that's been very rough. He was a real member of the family, best friend.
Hero.
Yep. Cheers to Hero. But we're not here to talk about that this week because we are here to talk about The Amateur, a 2025 American vigilante spy action film directed by James Hawes and written by Ken Nolan and Gary Spinelli, based on the 1981 novel of the same name by Robert Littell, which was previously adapted into a Canadian film. Might have to check that out.
Yeah,
it stars Rami Malek, Rachel Brosnahan, Catriona Balfe, Michael Stilberg, Holt McCallany, and Lawrence Fishburne. And what is it about, Dave?
It is about a CIA cryptographer who stumbles across or is fed a bunch of encrypted stuff that basically implicates senior execs at the CIA of just going around bombing innocent people all over the world and then blaming it on suicide bombers. Shortly thereafter, his wife, the marvellous Mrs. Maisel, who has been on a trip overseas, a work trip to London, is killed in a hostage situation. And because the crooked director and deputy director of the CIA don't want to or claim that they're not going to go after the people who actually did it because they want to get the whole ring of terrorists or whatever, he kind of blackmails his way into being allowed to go on a vengeance trip after them by himself with a little bit of training from Larry Fishburne.
Yeah.
And then it's a kind of a race for him trying to get these four bad guys / gal, while Nasty Holt and co back at the CIA are trying to take him out because they think because he's got all this dirt on them. Yeah. And it's a kind of a Jason Bourne-y type thing once you get about halfway into it.
I wasn't sure how much I was going to like this movie. You just brought up Jason Bourne. That's the kind of vibe the trailer gave me.
I'm keen to know what you think, because you're not a fan of... I love this. Is one of my favourite genres. You're not a big fan.
I'm not a spy thriller guy. I saw the first Bourne movie at the cinemas and fell asleep. I haven't seen any of the others.
How could you fall asleep with Greengrass's direction? It's literally nausea-inducing.
I'm not a big Bond guy, although someone nearby is selling a 28 film VHS set of all of the Bonds for $30, so I am picking that up.
Good. We'll do a massive marathon because I've got them all on Blu-ray or not. No, I don't have the 4K yet. I think I've got them on Blu-ray, but I have seen them all anyway.
I did think the trailer for this looked fun enough, and I was like, you know what? Let's do it. It's a real dad film. We were the youngest people in the cinema by about 25 years. And you know what? Maybe I'm becoming a dad because I liked this movie. I thought it was fun. Like, it's not a brilliant movie. There's a lot of things about it that are kind of silly or fall apart if you think about them for even a quarter of a second.
I think there are far worse culprits for that sort of... I think it holds together more than a lot of these films do.
Yeah. But I thought this was actually a fairly fun film with some really good set pieces and stuff. I think Rami Malek is actually great. I think Rachel Brosnahan is sadly underused, but obviously she has to be for the story.
I don't know why is she second or third billing? I don't think that's...
She's second billed.
How is she billed over Larry Fishburne?
Oh, I mean, even...
Or certainly Holt McElhenney. I never pronounce his surname.
Yeah.
But he's the guy from Fight Club and Mindhunter and everything.
Yeah, even Lawrence Fishburne isn't actually in this a great deal. I think this was a couple of days' work for
John
him.
Bernthal, did you?
No.
I mean, it's a on paper it's a stacked cast, but it's really the Rami Malek
It's really
show.
a one-man show, yeah.
I mean, Katrina Balfe is probably the only one who's got any sort of significant screen time other than Holt, because he's kind of your main antagonist. Julianne Nicholson as well, who I love, from Monos and so many other things. Sort of, I got this feeling with this film that there's a longer cut somewhere with a lot more stuff with the other people.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah,
trimmed down to kind of focus on Rami's kind of journey.
Because even Lawrence Fishburne, he is not in large chunks of this movie.
No.
Like, there comes a point where you expect him to take over as the main antagonist and become this real kind of chase between the two of them. That just doesn't happen.
The poster is Rami Malek with a only slightly smaller Larry Fishburne behind him, looking menacing.
Yeah.
And you kind of don't. Oh, is he the mentor, or is he? What is that? What it's going to be? And that's why I kind of. It's either I think a shortcoming with the writing, where the balance is just a little bit out on all this stuff, and you kind of they've either in the writing or in the editing they've trimmed away what they think is a lot of flab, but what I think would actually have been, even though it is a 2 hours plus film. And
although I didn't feel the runtime of it that much. Like this,
I only felt it because I knew I was racing back to record with you. I literally came out of the film like an hour ago or something. But otherwise, I would have liked more. I would have liked more of that. I think I would have liked more. You've got, and look, I genuinely enjoyed this. It's the I think this is what Rami Malek should be doing. I famously hated Bohemian Rhapsody. I think he was hammy and not good at all. I haven't really liked him in it. He was terrible in the last Bond film.
Was he in a Bond?
He was in the last one, the No Time to Die. He was the bad guy. And he was the only bad thing about what I think is one of the best Bond films ever. I love but he is just a ham sandwich from start to finish.
Yeah.
But Mr. Robot, I love. Where he is at his best, he is really good at the smartest guy in the room type of role. Because, he comes across as quite an intelligent dude anyway, just in real life. But I think he is very good at portraying that sort of character. And I think this film works to his strengths, because the bits where he has to do action, he's not great. He barely comes through those scenes.
But that's how he's supposed to be.
Yeah, but where he's being clever, he's being clever and he's believable. And so I think he's well cast, and it's the best, the most I've liked him, and the best I think. I mean,
agreed. Yeah,
did not deserve accolades for Bohemian Rhapsody. This it's not the genre that gets nominated for stuff, but I think he is genuinely really good.
Yeah, I agree. And I think what really works about this film is the characterization of him. This is a real great example of this guy doesn't actually know what he's doing.
No.
And so often you see a film like that, and it's supposed to feel that way, and yet they just keep winning, and but this guy, he doesn't know how to fight. He doesn't know how to do anything. Like when he goes to take down that first woman, and that entire sequence where first he tries to get her with the pollen, and then he lets her out, and she fights him off pretty easily.
She kicks the shit out of him.
But he's chasing her, he's unable to shoot her, and then when out of nowhere she just gets nailed by a truck. It's a really, really great, effective scene, and it's like, wow. Okay.
And he runs away and then proceeds to puke his guts out, because he's just his adrenaline and everything is so high, and he's just not used to that sort of a scenario.
I actually think that it was a really well put together film, and as he goes on, he gets more comfortable with it. I do think there's a couple of scenes where he's blowing guys up and stuff, and it's like, okay,
I tell you what. No one is swimming in that rooftop pool after this film and Jason Statham in the mechanic. That thing is blowing up every second Tuesday.
But it is a bit like, that explosion and that water, that's going to kill people down on the street.
There are like 10-foot shards of like 3-inch thick glass. They are impaling cars, let alone people.
like that's not just killing this one dude. He's killed a bunch of dudes, and that's kind of my biggest flaw with the movie is you're meant to believe that he's not okay with that. But even earlier than that, when he's trying to escape Larry Fishburne and he just blows up the bathroom in the pub, it's like someone could have been taking a dump. Like seriously, how many people did you just injure? Like. Yeah. But he doesn't even give that a second thought.
No, there are a few, and I mean, I guess as you said to me quite rightly a week or two ago, if you start picking threads, almost every movie comes unraveled at some point. And I think there are definitely loose threads with the writing of this, but I think less so than a lot of films of this kind. If anything, I could have done with less of the action, more of this is kind of halfway between your Bourne and your Tinker Tailor. It's kind of there's a little bit more of the thoughtfulness in there, and I think if they'd lent a little bit more into when he knows he's got to take the guy. The South African guy down, and not the the dude in the pool. I can't remember which one it is. And he knows he's not going to be able to shoot him because he's kind of fell over at the hurdle with Gretchen previously, and so he works out the coefficients of how to degrade the air pockets between the glass and all that sort of stuff, so that he can just remotely blow it up. I think if each one had been like that, but it does kind of lean a bit more into the action Bourne stuff when they have the car chase and all of that in Romania, but. I think they bring it back with the last one where you think, it's just going to end with an action, and then it turns out, no, he has been clever. That was all kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the best sequence to me in the film was actually quite early on when the other CIA agents are trying to figure out how he got the document out of the building, and so they're trying to catch up with his cleverness. And then they find out he was just bluffing them the whole time. But
you think, they're just... And they didn't make it too easy for them, so it was believable that they were slowly working their way to catch up to him.
Yes.
And then you finding out that he was ahead of them the whole time.
Well, that's right, because we don't know that either. Like, I believed he had the documents when... Yeah. In fact, I'm still not sure. For all I know, he was double bluffing them, and he was making them think he didn't have them when he really did. I believe that.
He must have had them because at the end, the director brings down all of... So he must have had them to give to her.
That's true.
So he did somehow scan them out of the printer with whatever that little stick-on thing was or whatever. Scanning magnetic something or other. I don't know whether it was made up or believable, but it worked for me. The areas where I think I could have done with more were you've got character development stuff. So you know that he's afraid of flying because you just intuit it from the fact that he won't go on trips with her. But they don't actually mention his fear of flying.
No, and it is weird then, though, that he has a plane.
Well, the only hint you've got that he's afraid of flying, but he wants to get over it, and so he's rebuilding this plane, and that's why Rachel Brosnahan gave him she bought this old beat-up plane for him to rebuild. Yeah. The only hint you've got that's to get him over his fear of flying is John Bernthal in a cafe in Romania somewhere, so dropping a line about, and you're rebuilding an old Cessna so you can prove you're not afraid to get in it. It's like, what? Really? What could Mrs. Maisel not have mentioned that when she gave him the? That's why I think there's stuff that's been trimmed for runtime. Yeah. Because I can imagine a studio going, you're at 2.5 hours, it's too friggin' long for this type of movie, lose 25 minutes. And they've gone, well, shit, we can't lose the main plot. We're going to have to lose all the character development shit early on. Because you don't put Rachel Brosnahan in a movie and give her 5 seconds at the start and then one. And that was the other thing. You get what he keeps flashing back to glimpses, like replaying glimpses of the first scenes with her, and then you get one scene where she leans over his shoulder and says, "You need to sleep now." Right towards the end, it's the only line she has after the first scene, and that felt to me like the film I would have made would have had repeated things where he imagines her talking, kind of like if you remember Edge of Darkness, which I got you, I think, in the very first required viewing
Yeah.
I got you to watch,
Yeah.
where Bob Peck's character, Craven, his daughter's killed right at the start. He repeatedly sees her and visualizes her as kind of the voice in his head telling him what to do throughout the show. That's what I thought this needed. And I kind of feel like maybe they shot those scenes and trimmed them and they just kept one of them. Because I would have liked her to be the voice in his head that he visualizes, where she comes along and she says, don't forget blah, 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 or did you water the plants? Or I would have liked more of those rather than just this one kind of almost random bit where she appears and he imagines her talking to him.
Yeah.
Why have that once? It doesn't make sense from a narrative perspective.
My biggest issue with the film, I guess, is the age-old question of who is this for? Who is this film for? Like, I can't see this movie lighting the box office on fire. I don't know about where you are, but here it's showing in IMAX, and that's like a lot of the advertisements is like, see the amateur in IMAX, and it's like, I wouldn't. Yeah, like it's not, because as you say, it's not really an action film. It's somewhere between the two. And I just don't fully understand who the movie's marketed for. Like I said, it's a dad movie.
I mean, you've got a brief fight between Larry Fishburne and that's yet another scene where I kind of feel like something's been cut out. You've got Julianne Nicholson saying to some underling, send one of our people, because Larry Fishburne's been sent to kill him. Send one of our people. We see this dude once. We don't know who he is or anything. We assume he's the guy they sent. He has a fight with Larry Fishburne and gets killed. It's like either there's something wrong with the writing of this or something's been cut out, because we needed to know more about this guy. Because
Larry Fishburne's
been there to kill him, but Larry Fishburne's the one that he's friends with. It's a little bit murky.
We also in that scene assume that Lawrence Fishburne himself has been killed. Like, they kill each other. Like, I think we are meant to believe that. And then at the end, of course, he comes back and he visits him and stuff. And it's like, whatever. That's like...
And they're just palsy wells. Like, I get Larry Fishburne likes him, respects him, but he was doing his job. He's a professional. He was told to kill him, and that's what he was going to do reluctantly. Fine, I get that for that character. Rami Malek...
He never seemed that reluctant about it.
No, but Rami Malek's and like Charlie... bonded with this guy a bit. You get what feels like a trimmed down version of a longer training sequence where they bonded and etc.
Yeah, that
feels a little bit trimmed down, but whatever. But once he works out when Larry Fishburne turns up over in, I think it's in Marseille, and where he blows the pub toilet up, he works out, oh, you've been sent here to kill me.
Yeah.
Then he sees him kill someone else, doesn't see him again until he turns up right at the end.
Yeah.
And he's not remotely... He's just like, oh, there you are, old buddy.
Yeah.
Palsy Wowsy, you said I couldn't do it, but I did.
Yeah.
It's like, this guy was going to kill you. Why are you... forgetting all of that and just thinking of him as like he's Lou Gossett Jr. from An Officer and a Gentleman. He's not your mentor. He's the guy that was literally going to end your life, and it's all is forgotten. It felt so much repeatedly through this film like stuff was missing that needed to still be there. And I'm probably giving it credit that may not be due. Maybe it's just a unevenly written film.
Possibly.
I'd like to think it's just that they trimmed away stuff and there's a better version somewhere. But but overall, I did enjoy it. I came out of it thinking solid film.
I still had a lot of fun with it. It's definitely above average for me. I think I'm going to land on a 6 out of 10. I'm somewhere between a 6 and a 7. I would absolutely watch it again if I just wanted to throw something on for some dumb fun. And I would watch a sequel as well, like totally.
I'm looking forward to The Accountant too. I love...
Me too. I saw the trailer for that.
I am a sucker for Smartest Guy in the Room films. Whether it's Social Network or a spy film, anything where someone is being cleverer than I could be and outsmarting everyone else, I am there for it. So I'm probably a 7.
Okay.
7.5? No, 7. I'm a 7. And it's got its faults. It's not quite as Smartest Guy in the Room as like a Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, which is probably where I prefer to be. I could have done without the car chase and those bits, and just had more of him being super smart. But yeah, a solid film, good cast. I enjoyed every second of it.
Nice. Well, there you go. That's certainly a recommend from us.
Yeah.
Next week, what should we get to, mate? There's a couple of things coming out. I'm really
Very
keen
for
on Sinners, and I'm also really keen on Drop. Do you reckon we can try get to both of them?
Yeah, well, we've got some holiday days, so I can probably make that happen.
Nice. Yeah, I'm really keen for both of them. I saw the first trailer I've seen for Sinners today, and
not what I was expecting on paper, either from Ryan Coogler or just on paper. The entire supernatural part of this came out of left field. So I was keen in he makes good solid films and there's good cast. I'm sure it will be quote unquote well made. But I wasn't super excited. Now I'm super excited as well.
It's at 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's been getting banging reviews. So, yeah, I'm keen. I'm really keen.
Yeah, or give me a Ryan Coogler film over a Jordan Peele film any day of the week.
Well, I'm curious to see how he does with horror. I mean, it's not a genre that he's played in before, but I do think he's a great film. Like, I'm not as hot
Got to be better than what Jordan Peele's spitting out these days.
I'm not as hot on the Creed films as the rest of the world, but Fruitvale Station's a fantastic film.
I have not seen any of the Creed films. I haven't seen Fruitvale Station. I am a big Michael B. Jordan fan.
Yeah.
And of course, who doesn't love Haley Steinfeld? And obviously horror.
Yeah.
100%
nice.
Different.
Cool. So that's next week. In the meantime, if you want to get in touch with us, you can do that at pottymouthradio.com or pottymouthradio@gmail.com. Go and join the Facebook listener community, and we'll catch you next week with Drop and Sinners.
Will indeed.